Welcome. Welcome. You're tuned into the Crew Podcast and Media Network, where voices rise, stories shine, purpose meets the world. Welcome to the Crew. Come on in. This is where it starts. We are the change. We are the change. Right here in our hearts. Welcome home. Welcome through. There's a place for you. The Crew around the world, lifting every voice too. It's time to open your heart. Speak truth, stand in faith, and let the healing begin. Oh, every first and third Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, Apostle Lee and Dr. Kimberly bring healing to your mind. Streaming on the Crew Podcast Network, YouTube, Facebook, Kick, and Twitch. Faith, truth, and real relationships. This is what your spirit's been missing. Let the healing begin. Let the truth be told. Let faith rise up and restore your soul. Isn't her perspective? Wisdom from above. Talking like pain, family, and love. It's time. It's time. It's time. Let the healing begin. Let the healing begin. Let the healing begin. Let the healing begin. Let the healing begin.
Marriage isn't always perfect, but healing is always possible. Welcome to Let the Healing Begin with your hosts, Apostles Lee and Kimberly Thomas. This podcast tackles real-life issues with raw truth and a powerful his and her perspective. We talk marriage, we talk sex, we talk loss, love, and relational challenges couples don't always say out loud. If you're ready for honest dialogue, faith-filled insight, and a practical wisdom that restores connection and strengthens your marriage, you're in the right place. Come, journey with us as we let the healing begin.
Hey. Good evening. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Let the Healing Begin. We are your hosts,
Lee.
and Kimberly Thomas, and we are so glad to be with you guys tonight. I don't know where you are in the world, but it has been raining, and it has really been raining like cats and dogs. So we are just grateful. We're grateful to God for the rain, for giving us the rain. We're not complaining at all, but the weather has not been favorable. So we have been inside a lot this weekend, just taking in some quiet time and allowing the healing to begin even in us or to continue in us. So, as we start this night's journey, I want to first of all welcome you once again to Let the Healing Begin. This is a show where we get down to the nitty gritty. We talk about everything. We talk about things and we keep it real, we keep it raw, and we keep it transparent. One thing that I want to tell you is that we do not claim to have the monopoly on this thing called marriage, nor do we claim to have mastered marriage. But one thing that we do have is a marriage, and most of all, we have a mandate from the Lord to come forth and to share our experiences in this journey called life, with those of you that are moving through and navigating through sometimes in your marriage. And so we pray that our experience as a married couple will provide some insight and some light to some of the things that you may be experiencing. So come on in, have a little dialogue with us tonight. Tonight, we are going to talk about a couple different things that we think are very important to marriage. And so, the first thing that we want to talk about is the fact that marriage is not perfect.
It's not.
It is not. It
Oh,
is not perfect.
okay.
A lot of times people are on the outside looking in and they say, "Oh, you look like such a happy couple. Y'all look so great together. Every time we see you, you're always smiling." And that may be true. Every time you see us, we may always be smiling, but that does not mean that everything is perfect. That does not mean that everything is okay. That does not mean that we didn't just have some heated fellowship before we walked out the door, got in the car, and in the public view. What that means is that we're still striving in this game. We're still moving through this journey called marriage. And so one thing that I want to encourage those of you that are going through, you may be experiencing some tough times in your marriage. Know that marriage is not perfect. It is not perfect. And it is not perfect because it consists of imperfect individuals two imperfect individuals who both have their own identities, they have their own personal issues, they have their own little quirks, their own flaws, and everything of that nature. And one thing that we have to realize is that when we get married, we are two becoming one. We are becoming one.
So in other words, you're learning to be together.
Exactly. We are
Okay.
becoming one. And so when you become one, you learn how to kind of mesh and get yourselves in alignment to where you're able to walk through this journey called marriage. The Bible says, how can two walk together except they agree? So you're going to have to agree in some way, shape, or form in order to align yourself with the will of God for your life and for your marriage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're gonna have to learn that real quick because after the beginning ends,
Excitement, yeah.
okay, the excitement, if you will, then the real marriage begins. And in that, you truly find out who each other are, because the mask has been taken off. The super extra nice, super extra sweet. I want to do everything to please you. It ends because after a while, you start realizing, I'm tired and I don't feel like doing that. And it's just what it is. It's called marriage. We got to realize that we became one, but we have two different identities. And in the midst of that, sometimes you come in, you just want to chill. And then sometimes, you go to listening to what other people say, honeydew list and all that. Well, okay, honeydew this and honeydew that. And the thing of it is, create your own marriage.
Yes.
You know, I don't have no honeydew. It's just, baby, would you do this or baby, would you do that? Especially when it's your time to be off to do nothing. Well, since you're not doing nothing today, could you just run over and do that for me? So sometimes you have to really just say, no, I don't feel like doing that. Don't just do it and then be mad about doing what you've been asked to do. Because you know what? You're not perfect. And in that, they aren't either,
Right.
because you might have had plans, today I'm not doing anything. And that's just it. And it's okay. But a lot of times you get, oh, I got my honeydew list. And you got to think that words have power. And when you start saying, I got my honeydew list, it's just like an order. You're not in the military. You just, I was asked to do this, but I didn't want to do it. Some
Right.
days I do, some days I don't. And that's a vice versa thing. And I see where, a lot of times, well, you know how it go, bro, man. You got to keep them women happy. And I just smile at them. I said, yeah, well, you run your household like you run it because, well, happy wife, happy life. I said, see, that's where the problem starts. What you mean? you excluded yourself out the situation because here it is, happy husband makes a happy wife, which makes a happy life. See, we both in there,
Yeah, that's
you
good.
know.
That's good. And you said something about military and marching orders. And that kind of stuck out to me because being from two different backgrounds, being raised differently,
Uh-huh.
there were a lot of things that you have to take into account. I had to take into account a lot of things on his side, as well as him having to take into account a lot of things on my side, because coming from that military type background, being raised by a father who was in the military, so it was just kind of like a drill sergeant, and it was like not speaking to me, but speaking at me. And so we had to get an understanding that that's not how we communicate. And that's one of the other things that we want to kind of delve into a little bit tonight is about sometimes communication isn't always easy. It's not always easy because a lot of times you'll take the low road to quail down arguments or to keep confusion down or just to keep the peace. But we have to learn how to communicate with each other, because if I always take the low road, you're never going to know what is really going on with me, because I'm excluding myself, because now I'm saying my voice is not valued or is not worthy of being heard.
True. And the thing of it is, if you don't say anything, then how am I to know? You know what I mean? And like you say, you have two different backgrounds, and the structure is totally different. For me, everything has to be decent and in order. It's got to be in line. It's got to be that way because that's what works for me. But I had to learn over time that you know what, you're not in this by yourself. So you know what, we got two couches. She got hers, I got mine. You know, we come together and it works. But you have to realize that. I mean, when we first started out, I would come in, I have everything so nice and neat, and I walk out and I come back and the pillow laying down. I'm like, I thought I picked that up. I put it back up, and when I come back, it's laying back. This happened about 6, 7 times. Like, wait a minute, is you putting that pillow down? She said, yeah, I live here too. I want to say, and I started laughing, but it's just that way. You have to figure it out. She said, you have to be comfortable in your home. I said, yeah, I was comfortable with it sitting up like that.
And it's kind of like if you've ever been to an older relative's house, and they have their things in a certain place. I'm gonna take y'all back a little bit, since y'all think that I'm like real young. So let me take y'all back a little bit. Remember going to your relative's house that had the plastic on the furniture?
Girl, you old.
They had plastic on the furniture in certain areas of their home, and you couldn't even sit in those areas. And then in the areas where you could sit, it was like you was like this right here, because you was scared to touch something. You was scared to move, because they were really something about their stuff. I remember when our son was little, we had a relative that was up in age. She was actually like my grandmother's age, so she was my third cousin. And so we went to visit her, and she had these artificial flowers in the bathroom. And so when my son came out of the bathroom, one of the little petals off of the artificial flower had come off or something. And oh my gosh, she acted like it was the end of the world. And so this is the type of things that we were going through, because okay, the pillow was sitting up on the sofa, but if I'm on the sofa and I want to lay the pillow down to put my arm on it, put my foot on it, or whatever, it was like it was the end of the world. And so I was getting upset and he was getting upset. So here he is. Every time he comes by, he's putting the pillow back up. So I'll put the pillow back down. He'll walk out of the room, he'll come back and he'll look and he'll fluff the pillow up and put the pillow back, sit the pillow back straight up on the sofa. So, like he said, it happened about 5 or 6 times. And so finally, I just got fed up. I threw the pillow on the floor. And when he came back that last time, he's like, "Did you do that? Why you keep doing that?" And I'm like, "Why do you keep doing that? I live here too. This is my house too. And we're supposed to live in it. A house is supposed to be lived in. I'm not going to be sitting up in the house like this right here. I want to be comfortable." And so these are the things that you think about. I mean, we laugh about it now because it's really funny. And sometimes we still go through the same little pillow thing. He got his set of pillows on his couch. I have mine on my couch. And if one of my pillows end up over there, you need to give me my pillow. I need my pillow back on my couch. And so these are the things that you have to understand. And so, communication is key because if you don't have communication, you just think about how you're walking around. You're like a mummy in your house. You're a prisoner because it's like, I can't do this. I can't do that. Oh my gosh, I can't, you know, I gotta make sure that if I'm brushing my teeth, I can't leave the water on while I'm brushing my teeth. I got to get some toothpaste and brush my teeth real quick and then turn the water on. No, we're not doing that. We live here together. And so these are the things that you have to understand when you are married. You come from two different backgrounds. And so you're still learning each other, even if you've dated years. It's the difference when you become married. You see stuff that you might have been with this person almost all your life. And when you say, "I do," things change. You be like, "Where in the devil did this from? Who is this? Where did it came from? I didn't see this when we were dating." But now we are full time married. And it's, yeah, we full time. We might have been dating and like we were full time, but now it's official. We are full time. We are one. When we were dating, we were still two trying to act like we were one, but now we are really one. And now you begin to see all these little things. You thinking, "Oh, I've been dating him all this time, or I've been dating her all this time," and it's good. As soon as you get married, you start seeing all kinds of stuff like, okay, you come to the closet and your clothes are color coded. What? What is this? Why are the reds, yellows, and blues? Why are they all together? What is this? Right. And you looking like, what are they doing? They ain't do this when they was coming to sleep over. You wasn't kind of trying to color cord your little clothes. You was sneaking in the closet. You had them spread out. Why you over here now color coding clothes? And so these are the things, and you have to think about it.
Well, you see, the thing of it is, it's not that you didn't see it. And there's a lot of things that we see that we say we don't see because love, it covers a multitude of fault. But when you get in the same house, in the same space, you get to seeing a whole lot of things you didn't see.
Yes.
And recognizing stuff that, like, wait a minute, what are you doing? See, like I say, I'm one of those guys, super neat, everything in order. So I'm one that will try it. So I says, well, maybe I need to try to live like, I guess, what we normal people. Because some people can come in their house and just drop stuff everywhere, get up in the morning and get it and go. So I tried it. I came home, I dropped my keys one place, put my hat, my coat, everything everywhere. I got up, she was going to work, and I was losing it. I didn't know where my keys was. I couldn't find my shoes. I wait a minute. I sat down, I gave myself a whole headache. And I said, Lord, if you let me get out of this, it won't never, ever happen again. And guess what? It didn't because I know where my stuff at. It's a routine for me. And here's the thing, when you get together, allow your mate to be who they are. So you can truly learn them and they can learn you, and then be willing to give as well as to receive.
Yes.
Don't allow yourself to get upset or get out the way because, like you say, we're building something. And while you're building something, remember, it's us together. Then you got to realize that, after all that part has gotten just about right, Then it's another phase you have to go through, which is like, what was the other? How did it go? The tag one.
The healing not being automatic.
Yeah, the healing part is not automatic because sometimes you can say stuff and you ain't really mean it, but you take the time to think before you speak.
Right.
The number one rule.
Right.
Think before you speak because you can really hurt somebody's feelings because you're like, man, come on. Really, 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 yeah, really, really, really. I really live here too.
Right.
So it doesn't come automatic. We have to take the time to consider each other's feelings and realize it's life because you go to work, I go to work, and you had a bad day and I had a bad day. And why we talking about drill sergeants now? With her job, she have a few people working up under her, so she has to direct. And they always come to her, and then she come on. Well, you got it. Hold on, I don't work for you. You home now? No, no, I don't. I couldn't.
Who
Yeah.
you bring your check home to? No, I'm just like.
You heard that, did you? That.
So that means you work for me.
I better not be broke. That's all I can tell you. But see, the thing of it is, this is the part you can laugh about now because she right about that. Now, I don't, at one point, well, nobody getting lead check. That's out. Zero. Zero understanding on that. I made this here. Tell me what you need. Here you go. Now, it don't even matter. Baby, the money over there. And that's just it because we're together. Because, see, money and food are two things that will wreck a relationship. Don't worry about it. If you making it, you make the money. Don't let the money make you.
Yes.
That's number one.
Yes.
Number two, if it's food needed in the house, buy it. If we out eating, it's not I did it last time. Just do it. We together because if we're one, when I eat, you eat. I sleep, you sleep. When I have, you have.
Yeah.
See, and you got to get to that point because if you ever get to that point where you start doing what they call cuffing, let me tuck this back, you don't have to hide nothing in your own house. It's mine, it's mine. And I'm glad I've gotten to that point because I just bam, it's on the table, there it is. And that's what it is. I don't have to worry about that. Right. So just be fair. That's the key.
And when you said that make the money and don't let the money make you, that's one thing that is so important because as we counsel different ones, we have some very young married couples that have been married right at the cuff of maybe 6 7 years. And one of the things that I have noticed in the younger generation that are getting married, it's a my your type thing. It's not an our. They're still, this is mine, this is yours. It's not, this is ours. They don't share with one another. And I think a lot of that is because some of them never had any type of counseling. They just jumped into marriage and they were having a fling and all of a sudden, hey, let's do this thing, let's go get married. And they never really understand the concept of marriage. When you become married, you're not two individuals anymore just living together. You are becoming one. That means everything becomes one. This is ours. This is our house. This is our car. This is our money. And so these are the things that you have to think about. And these are our bills. I mean, I literally know some couples that we have counseled in the past that have there's that largest argument. Largest arguments are about money. Money and bills. The thing is, oh, well, that's their bill. That's his bill, that's her bill. And that's their thing. Well, they have to, but they have. What do you mean half? We not half. We are whole. We are a whole one. And so it's not a half thing. And this is where I often try to instill the fact that women, when we come into a marriage, when a man gives us his last name, we have just become a part of him. We know that when Adam was created, then Eve was created. Eve was created from his rib. And so we are the help mate. We are to help him meet whatever need is lacking. Wherever there is a lack, we're supposed to be able to come to the table. It's not a half thing. It's not where your half of this or where your half of that is, because maybe I can't give half.
But then when you get to talking about half, we don't really have a relationship then.
No.
We have a partnership. See, and that's the thing. And you said at the beginning of you talking just then about we was doing this thing, you know. A lot of people get married because of sex. See, you can't marry the sex.
Right,
You got to
doing the
marry the
thing.
person, you
Yes.
know. And that's just a added bonus that we can come together even closer, because if you can have all this up here and nothing else going on, and you can have all that down there but nothing up here going on. So where are we really at in this relationship?
Yes.
You know, let's sit down and talk and then really get to find out who each other are.
Right. And that's the only way that we can build. When we communicate, we have to sit down and we have to discuss what are our common goals. Now that we are married, what are we doing? What we doing?
Correct. I mean, because if you get in a relationship and you don't have a plan or a strategy to move forward or to catapult yourself to the next level, then what you doing?
Right.
Because any man or woman that fails to plan plans to fail. You know, we sitting right here. Okay, so you making this, I'm making that. What we putting in the bank? What we putting together for our future? What are we
Yes.
doing for our children? What are we doing for vacation? What are we doing about a car? What are we doing about insurance? And I'm not talking about paycheck to paycheck. I'm
Right.
talking about the future. You know, learn to do things to where it's beneficial to the family. You know, and that's what it's all about. We got to learn how to become one.
Yes. Now that beneficial to the family means that you are selfless and you're willing to sacrifice. Because there are times when things may get tight and they may get rough, and somebody may not be able to bring what they once were bringing to the table. And so now that means that you're going to have to sacrifice for the greater good of keeping the family afloat until God brings something better into view for the other person in the relationship. And so you can't be a my your thing at that moment. You have to understand that in order for a marriage to really work, you make sacrifices. You're selfless. Because in let me tell you this, it does not matter who makes the most money. That should not even be a topic of who makes the most. Well, I earn the most, so I got the biggest voice. No, no, you don't. No, you don't. No, because whatever I'm able to bring to help meet our needs,
there you go.
We have equal conversation, whether I bring 2 pennies and you bring 2 million. We have the equal right to say whatever it is that we need to say concerning our life and our future. We get so caught up in so many marriages are in trouble because of the fact that they live by the Mayor principle and who makes the most money, who's not doing this, who's not doing that. And like I said before, maybe they are not able. But when you say I do in the vows, the Christian vows, it says for better or for worse.
But the thing of it is, when you get into a relationship, you come in it then with the mindset that I'm gonna take care of all this. Not just the man, the woman. I'm taking care of all this. So if we can keep that mindset, we're not gonna have that problem where you didn't bring this to the table, you didn't bring that to the table. No. If we got the mindset, well, I'm gonna take care of that, okay, we just bringing it to the table anyway.
Right. You were paying bills if you were living separate.
So what's
you were
the
paying
difference?
bills on your own. And see, the other part of the marriage vows that we really don't think about is that part that says for richer or for poorer. Because we started out and we was when we first started out, our house was like an echo.
Hello, 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 hello.
Our first entertainment center or TV stand was a
A
drafting
drafting
board.
board. Yeah.
And we had a TV that was probably not even a 10-inch that we sat in the middle of the drafting board.
It was
And it
color
was a
too,
little
y'all.
color TV. If anybody as old as we are, you know about the little 10-inch TVs. Most of them came in black and white, but God blessed us to have some color. Even though we had a little 10-inch TV sitting in the middle of a drafting board. And you know what? We were happy. We were content with what we had because we were together, and the marriage was not built on what we had, what we brought to the table. Both of us had lives before we came to the marriage. Both of us had experiences before we came to the
Right.
marriage. Both of us had big homes and cars and stuff before we came to the marriage. But you know what happened to us? Life. Life happened to us. When life started lifing for us, what happened was we went from a 2-car family to a 1-car family. And we had to make do. And when we were making do, there were times that we were sitting on the floor, rolling up change, trying to figure out how we were even going to get gas for 1 car, let alone how we were going to have lunch, making sure that the needs of the children were met. So it's not that it's not doable. You have to understand that marriage is not perfect. And especially when you have outside influences that try to create havoc to make it not be perfect for you. It is not a situation when you have these outside influences and they're doing everything that they can, because we had a statement that was made and they tried to hold true to it, that it was almost a promise that was made. I promise you that you won't end up with anything. We'll get ours before you get yours. And they almost stayed true to that. They stayed true, but the thing about it, love conquers a multitude of not only faults, but love is able to stand and withstand. So, a lot of times Lee make a statement and we laugh about it. He was like, okay, well, let me tell you about our love. Our love is the kind of love that if we were in a matchbox, we would be happy.
Riding a tricycle with 3 different size tires
3 different size tires.
We good.
We would be happy
Together.
because the first car that we had, it actually had 3 good
Good
tires.
tires.
And we were still happy. We was riding down the road just a humping
That
and
humping and
we
humping.
just, because the tire was bad, and we just rolling and we smiling and grinning as if nothing was going on, because it was not based on the material things. And that's what you have to understand. Marriage should not be based on material things.
And
That's a bonus.
Yeah, I mean, even in that, when we got the tires, y'all, we could only afford to get 3. So I looked at the best one we had on the car. I said, well, put that in the back. We good. And that's how it was, But see, that's what you call humble beginnings.
Yes.
Because you know what? We stuck together and we stuck with it. And these are the things that create marriage,
And memories.
and memories. Because you can laugh now because,
Yes.
sometimes God allows you to go through things to show you it's greater coming. But how can you expect to do greater if you can't do good with the little things? If you can't control this little small thing, how can you expect to control this large thing that you desire?
Right.
You see, God is not going to allow you to have nothing that you can't control. So until you become a good steward over the things in which He has loaned unto you,
Yes.
then you're going to still be check to check. I need to get this. I need that. Well, you think we could borrow from this one or borrow from that one? And I'm not with that right there. When you know we can do this together, it's a oneness. When we come together, we came together. When we came together, we was together. And then when you get that way, then you be that way. Don't change. Right. See, when you start looking at the one you married and said, I do to, remember, you want more for them than you do for yourself. And once it gets to that point, you good. you're good, because you know what? It's not about me anymore. It's about her. It's about him, which is about us.
Yeah. Now you said something that we often equate to money.
Mm-hmm.
Never really thinking about, and even sometimes material things, but never really thinking about marriage. You said being a good steward.
Yes, you better.
So we have to be a good steward over our marriage, just like we have to be a good steward over our money.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're not a good steward over your marriage and you begin to discount or disregard your mate and treat them some kind of way, you are putting yourself in danger of losing what you have. And a lot of times you don't realize what God has given you or blessed you with until it's gone. So
Right.
you have to be a good steward. You got to be a good steward over the marriage, and especially if it is a God ordained marriage. Now, some marriages y'all just put together by yourself.
Yeah.
You just put together by yourself. And so the thing that you have to understand is that when it's your marriage, it's subject to any and everything. But when it's God's marriage, when it's one that He has joined together, the scripture tells us what God has joined together, let no man put asunder. So that means you, not even you, the man, you, the woman, you don't even put it asunder. That means that you have to begin to be a good steward over your marriage. So many times people will look at me because of the simple fact that, Lee would always say, I get breakfast, lunch, and dinner. When he was a full-time working man out here on somebody else's job, that's my responsibility. Why would I send my husband out of the house without something to eat? Why would I send him without a lunch? Why would his dinner not be prepared? If not when he gets home, but shortly thereafter. See, these are the things that you have to understand. You have to steward your marriage, because what you don't do, somebody else will do.
You better say it. And that's the whole key right there. Allow your marriage to work for you. Don't allow people to dictate your marriage for you. Some people, it ain't gonna work like that. They don't cook. Okay. If you accepted that, then accept that role.
Right.
Me, myself, when I got with my wife, the first thing she said was, because my first dinner was a hamburger, big as the skillet that didn't break, with some tomatoes on it, because that's what I wanted, and she did it. I just didn't know how she made it, because it didn't break, and I was so happy with that. And then she prayed over the food, and I was just eating because I really wanted that. And her words to me was, I asked her, "Why you looking at me like that?" She said, "Because I love to see you eat." And I said, "You do?" And she said, "Yeah." I said, "Oh, okay." And she said, "I'm gonna always make sure you eat, baby." One day she told me, I hate it. I said that.
Because you want to eat all the time.
Yes, Lord. I'll make sure it's in there. You just cook it. I'll eat it. But that was part of it, you know, and that may not work for you.
Right.
But let me tell you something. If you have a family, make sure you do it to where it's comfortable for each other.
Yeah.
If you don't like to cook, okay, then there's a Sunday evening. You better cook for the week. Put enough out there so you know what? All you got to do is warm it up.
Yes.
Simple as that. See, and you men, some of you that can't cook, learn. Because I can burn. Trust me, I can burn. You know. But the thing about it is, that's what she wanted to do for me. She bring me my food every night, and she's did that for the last 30 some years. Bring me my food, and everybody like, "You do what?" I'm like, "Your wife don't bring you your food." This is nothing that I made her ask her to do. This is just what she's done. Simple as that. See, so don't govern yourself by somebody else's marriage and what they see. When it's in your heart, you do what's in there.
Right.
Don't worry about what they did or what they say you should be doing, or letting the world dictate you, saying you don't tell me. Look at it. If it's going through all that right there, don't get married, because it ain't gonna work for you. See, you're gonna try to make it work instead of letting God allow it to work the way it should be. If you don't feel comfortable doing it, don't do it. Don't start nothing you can't keep up.
Exactly.
The only way you don't let nothing get started is don't let it get started.
And that's so true. And one thing that I want us as women that cook to understand, if you cook and you cook with love and you want to cook, it shows up in the taste of the food. But if you mad and you angry and you just begrudging that you got to be in the kitchen, baby, it's like dog food to them
They can
because
taste
it don't
it.
have no taste.
No flavor.
It's
It just steaming. That's it. What?
and sometimes it's not even that. And I have to, I got to be transparent. I was upset one day, and it was nothing that he had done. It was somebody else that had really gotten me upset, and I was just really fuming, and they were our guests. And so I came in and I'm trying to cook and I'm thinking, okay, well, I got half of the dinner prepared. So let me just finish the other half. And so I'm thinking, okay, we're going to have some mixed vegetables because that's the last thing that I was trying to prepare, some mixed vegetables. So I open up a can of mixed I opened up a can of mixed vegetables and I just poured them in a microwavable bowl and put them in the microwave for a few minutes and I took them out and I served them up. And Lee was looking at me so crazy, like, what in the world is this? Like, what is this? And so when I realized I didn't even cook them, I just nuked them. I just, like he said, they just had some steam on them. They was just as raw as they wanted to be. And I did not realize it until after the fact. So I said that to say, when you are upset and you are cooking, it shows up. It shows up in the taste of the food. It shows up in the texture of the food because you done cook something and it's something that's about to pull your eye teeth out. It's so tough. You have to understand that it shows up when you really and truly want to cook for your mate. It shows up.
That
It's
wasn't no
love
cooking
in
that
there.
day.
It's love, and so that's the thing that you have to understand. It will show up. And even if, because I've had women when I say, well, I cooked and I used to cook, you know, 3 meals a day and everything, and they be like, cook. Oh, I'm not doing that. He better take me out to eat. He better do this. He better do that. But what happens when takeout can no longer be taken out?
See?
What happens when you don't have the money to even go to Jack in the Box?
Oh, man,
what happens at that point? Because you have some people that come to marriages with some real high and lofty expectations. And they are really a lot of falsehoods because you have some unrealistic expectations of your mate. And that's both male and female.
But see, that's the thing. When you have a mate and you're one, remember one, we're together.
Yes.
You got to realize, okay, you want to go out to eat every night? I hope you got a job too. Because you can take me out to eat if that's what you want to do, because I don't have it. And don't get mad at me for what I can't do that you cannot do for yourself.
Right.
See, if we won and I'm your husband, okay, and you my wife, okay, well, you can take me out to eat too. Or that kitchen in there, that's what we bought the home for. So you have a home cooked meal, you know what I mean? And then the thing of it is, stop being so jacked up. Oh, he better take me. I just look at them crazy people, man. Because if you allow this to happen, then you allowing the other stuff to come along with that. See, stop being so vulgar in your tone when it comes to that right there. Because remember now, you better do this and you better do that and all that. All right, somebody's still cooking it for you. You don't know what you're eating.
Right.
Right?
A hot can of dog food.
Ooh, no, not a hot can.
So the thing that we have to think about it now, you said something just then that we have been working on. Let. Yeah.
Let what?
I let you do this and I let you do that.
Who work on that?
Though that's some of the things that we have been trying to correct in language.
Oh,
not our language, but we have to learn how to speak to each other.
Oh, yeah, that's
you
true
can't
too.
be saying, well, yeah, I let her go here, or I let him go there, because, and it's funny that we say this, because once again, we got some experience in this area, because people would ask him, people would ask him, oh, so you mean Kim don't let you do this or let you do that?
Yeah, that's crazy.
What?
Yeah.
He's not my yo-yo. He's not my puppet. I don't have any strings on him. So to say that I let him do something, that is so out of order, because we're two individuals that became one. And so he doesn't have to let me do anything, nor do I have to let him do anything. We have our own individuality. We have our own minds. We have our own thought process. We are two people that became one. It's not a thing about let, it's mutual respect.
Simple as that.
It's mutual respect. I will tell people all the time, I ask permission to do things. I ask permission to go places. It's not that I'm his puppet. It's not that I feel like, I got to bow down to the master and ask the master, can I go and can I do something? No, it's mutual respect, because you know what? I belong to him. I belong to him. I took his last name. And so that means that I belong to him, just like he belongs to me. And so it's not a point of, I'm asking because I just, I just got to have the permission from the master. No, I'm asking out of mutual respect to say, hey, babe, this is going on, and I would like to go to that. Is this okay with you? Because one thing about it, you may want to go somewhere, and you may want to go to a concert or something. Okay, the concert starts at 8 o'clock. There's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 groups. And for me, it would be a gospel concert. It wouldn't be a worldly concert. So y'all know when we get up and get the bucking and shouting, and everybody got to have their own personal platform and have their own show, all of that, it may drag on well until 11 o'clock at night. And so here I am, a married woman. I said, okay, I was going to a concert, and anybody with sense would be like, well, you know what? These people can't be having church all night long like this. So then there comes the thing of, okay, so now here you are, you out here in these streets by yourself, and what's happening? Not that there's a trust issue, but what's happening? That's just like I'm saying, if he goes somewhere, hey, me and the fellas, we going out and we're gonna do XYZ. Maybe we're gonna go and shoot some pool or something. Okay, so you and the fellas going out, y'all may go out at 8 o'clock. Okay, so if it's 12:30, 1 o'clock, I'm like, okay, well, it ain't that much pool playing in the world. But see, these are the things that we have to get to an agreement with. That's why you're asking permission, because first of all, you married. Second of all, you belong to each other. Third of all, I was always told one thing is, you don't call a married couple's house after 9 o'clock. You don't call married people after 9 o'clock. Because married people be doing grown people stuff after 9 o'clock. Don't call the house talking about you need to ask a question. Ask it tomorrow. It's not. It's not gonna. It's not gonna spoil. Ask it tomorrow. Text it. I'll see it in the morning when I get up. Don't call. And that's the other thing. When you have people, you have some people that don't have no kind of respect for married people. They call all times of night. They'll call 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, it don't matter. And then they want to have a whole long, drawn out conversation. Hey. I understand that you might not have a spouse, but I do. We got to cut this short. We can we talk about this tomorrow? Are you in crisis? Is it an emergency? Do we need to call 211?
Two what?
Yeah, the emergency crisis line. Do we need to call them?
Oh man, that
Because this is the thing. You know, you're calling, and this is our time. And that's another thing. When you have a spouse, you got to carve out that time. You can't just be just doing stuff. And you can't allow other people to do stuff, especially if they don't have no spouse. Listen, stop. Stop calling here. Stop calling here this time of night. Me and my wife, we trying to have a conversation. Me and my husband, we trying to have a conversation. Stop it. Don't call. And so, and so the thing is, you got to think about it. You know, you got people. You getting up early in the morning. You trying to get yourself together. This is your time. If both of you are working, this is your time to kind of get together, pray. You're getting dressed. You're having your coffee, maybe having breakfast or whatever. And I be got doggone if the phone ain't ringing at 6:30. Could you at least let me leave? Let me go. Let me go, and then you can have your time. But right now, it's my time. And so we have to get to the point to where we have boundaries. Because without boundaries, people's feelings get hurt. Because, if it's a case where I'm used to getting my kiss in the morning, I'm used to having prayer in the morning, I'm used to maybe getting a cup of coffee, having a cup of coffee and sitting down and having a little bit of chit chat. And if I don't get none of that, I'm going to work with an attitude. I'm like, well, I just be doggone. I guess they was just that their conversation was fire. Cause I ain't even get a peck on the cheek. I ain't get nothing. Just okay, see you later. Okay, see me later. Not see me out the door to the truck, out the driveway, down the road a little piece. No. And see, these are the things that we have to understand because those type of things create friction, they create havoc, and they create feelings.
Mm. So see, something else that you can put on the agenda.
Exactly.
Because when you become one, we one. And then, like you say, you have your boundaries and you have your time. Let your time or let our time be our time because here's the thing. Most of the time you get those kind of calls, you got a marriage too. So because your stuff not working right don't mean mine's not. Your failure to plan doesn't constitute an emergency for me. Holler at me in a little bit. Give me the same respect that I give you.
Exactly.
Because I will call and say, hey, oh, you people home? Oh, I'll holler. No, you can talk. You can talk. No, no. You call me back or we'll get together later. And that's just what it is. But these are things that you have to learn.
Yeah, because all of these things make for a happy marriage. When you can set boundaries, when you can keep it together and you can communicate. Because if I never express the fact that, listen, I've been missing our time together. Hey,
Right.
we need to talk about this. Hey, you need to tell John, don't call so much. You need to tell Sally, stop calling. You need to tell them, listen, don't listen. This is our time. And you don't allow anybody to cause you to deviate from that. Because, like I said, if you're not in crisis, baby, listen, it can wait till tomorrow. It's not gonna spoil. And so this is what we have to understand. But sometimes we are the ones, as I stated before, we're that man that begins to put our marriage asunder because we begin to put any and everything above the one whom we said I do to.
And that's the part you got to realize right there. It's you and I, not me and them, or you and us.
Right.
It's me and you.
Yes.
And as long as we keep up, oh, what you say, girl? You about that song? All right. But you have to realize it's us and make it that way, Because if you didn't want it to be us, you should have said, I do.
Exactly.
Because I do want all my time.
I do.
And that's what it is.
I do. Well, hey, y'all, we at the end of this journey for tonight. We want to thank y'all for joining us for Let the Healing Begin. And we hope that you'll be back with us on the third Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be here for it. We hope you will be too. We'll see you next time. Let the healing begin, everybody.
You've been tuned in to Let the Healing Begin, where we heal, grow, and rise through the Word of God. We pray tonight's show blessed your heart. Now let the healing continue. You came in heavy, carrying the pain, but God stepped in and called your name. What was broken, He can restore. He's opening, healing like never before. Tears may fall, but joy will rise. Faith is waking up inside. Every wound, every scar